guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about these Epstein files. It's in the news. It does not go away. I think it's a big distraction, but it just continually is in the news. People from all sides are, have very strong opinions on it. So I just want to talk about that today. Now, personally, I'm in favor of releasing everything that you possibly can. But this whole thing is a waste of time. Before I explain why, let me just make a few statements. The Biden administration had complete and total access to the Epstein files the entire time they were in power. Why didn't they release anything then? Okay? Why weren't they talking about it then? Only Republicans were talking about it during those years. They didn't talk about it, didn't seem to care about it, didn't release it. Obviously, it's only meant to be a distraction because Trump's now the president. And just like the government shutdown, it was really pointless other than to make it look like they're fighting Trump, which is what their base wants. If there was any strong evidence that Trump was part of some pedophile ring connected to Jeffrey Epstein, or any kind of evidence even pointing to the fact that he done some really bad stuff, trust me, they would have released that right before the election to try to, make him lose. The fact that they didn't release anything tells you there's nothing there regarding Donald Trump. We also have to understand when we're talking about a client list and the Epstein files, that's two different things. Okay, they're not the same thing. The Epstein files are what they sound like. All the files, all the information gathered regarding the Epstein case. A client list may or may not have ever even existed, or it may or may not have been destroyed a long time ago. It might not even be real. Pam Bondi really screwed things up. People were asking her about the client list, and they used the word client list, and she said, yeah, it's on my desk, and I haven't looked at it yet, but I'll be looking at it, and we'll get back to you on that. Well, what she had was a summary of the Epstein files. She did not have a client list. Those two terms become interchangeable. The client list and the Epstein files, and people talk about them as if they're the same thing. And so she just wasn't paying attention to what they were asking her and got it mixed up. And she's come out and said that recently. There appears to be no client list. And there could have been a client list, but it was destroyed a long time ago. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to release the Epstein files at some point. What's going to become of it? Is anyone's mind going to be changed? No. If you didn't trust the government before, do you trust them now? Or are you going to have a conspiracy theory that they took something out that they didn't want you to see? Some parts of this cannot be ever released because of court orders relating to victims of Epstein and their personal information. That's not going to be released. There is a lot of, evidence that can be released, but it has to be systematically vetted by the FBI. And names have to be redacted. There's lots of names in there of people who did nothing wrong. They were just maybe questioned and gave a statement, and their name is in the Epstein files. Well, you can't just release all that. So just think of it like this. What if you had a friend on Facebook who you really didn't even know that closely? It was kind of a friend of a friend of a friend. But you followed them on Facebook, and they did something really, really bad all of a sudden, and there was an FBI investigation about them. And even though you barely knew this person, you were contacted by the FBI because you were connected to him on social media, and they got a statement from you. Well, now that statement is part of the file on this guy. It's confidential. Do you want your name associated with whatever bad thing that guy did? Do you want your name associated with this investigation or file? No. You can't just release all these people's names. So what you're going to end up with is information that is not barred by a court order and has been heavily redacted and vetted by the FBI. And then the people who hate Trump are still going to say it's all Trump's fault. He's behind it all. And if they didn't trust the government to be forthright before, they're not going to trust him in the future. Or the people that hate Israel, they're just going to say, well, Israel's behind it all. The people that hate the Clintons, they're going to say, well, the Clintons are behind it all. That's what conspiracy theories do. When you base the things you talk about and the things you believe and the things you spread on assumptions without evidence, that's what conspiracy theories do. So there is this idea that, well, Trump doesn't want the Epstein Files to come out because he's involved in it. He's in the Epstein Files. That's misleading. Yes, he's in the Epstein Files. He knew Jeffrey Epstein. At one time, he kicked him out of his Mar-a-Lago club. This investigation, or different investigations on Epstein, have been going on since like 2005. Trump has been, interviewed many times. And everyone, in fact, people on television years ago even said he was very helpful. His name is mentioned in the Epstein Files many times. That has nothing to do with being part of a client list. Now, if there was a client list that, had the names of a big pedophile ring, I absolutely want that to be released, and I absolutely want those sick freaks to be held accountable and given the death penalty for whatever they did, and I don't care who it is. But I have no evidence of that. I'm just simply basing everything on an assumption. And you need to ask yourself that. Is what I believe about the Epstein Files or Epstein, whatever the case, is it based on assumptions or actual evidence? If it's based on assumptions, you really need to throttle back on your rhetoric. Was he a secret agent? How did he get all his money? Was he an informant? Did he really kill himself? There's a lot of questions regarding Epstein, and it's pretty shady. We all want to know what really happened. But unless you have evidence, concrete evidence, don't spread rumors about it, and don't assume that whoever you hate, Israel, Trump, the Clintons, is behind it all. Have some evidence. This whole thing is a complete waste of time. Nothing's going to become of it. It's just the Russia hoax 2.0. It's a daily update story that the media has that meets a narrative that they like, that they can just continually talk about to make Trump look bad. That's all this is. The Democrats didn't care about it when they could have released every bit of it under the Biden years, and now they only care about it to harm Trump. The Epstein Files is a complete waste of time.